Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today I get the opportunity to work on a reel. Well, it was only produced 1 year according to Bobby, who sent this reel in. And it's every now and then a reel comes in. It's a little fun, a nice little story behind it, and I get the opportunity to work on it. So this is called the Shakespeare, I believe it's Bicentennial. It was made in 1976, celebrating our bicentennial as a country, and of course it's red, white, and blue. So I've never worked on one of these. It's the first one I've seen. I appreciate Bobby sending this one in. It does work. It's a little noisy, so I'm expecting that what we will find in here is the requisite dirt and dried greases and things like that. But otherwise, from a parts and a component standpoint, it seems like it's everything that seems to be in place is in the right place, and that the reel is working. So we're going to work on this reel today. We'll show you how to take it apart, how to service it, how to keep it fishing for some time to come. And if you like these types of videos, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And if you do subscribe to my channel, please use that notification button. That will let you know when I'm posting, and well, you can see if that's a video you would like to watch. Okay, we're going to start by removing the exterior parts. There's a nut cap that's holding the handle on, so we'll get right onto that as soon as we can find the right wrench. Most of the time it's a 10. This one looks like it's a 12. So just go figure. Whenever when you thought you saw the last of them, well, it changes up and forces you to go change your scheme here. All right, let's try this one then. Yep. All right. So the reel was, I'm not sure if it was made in the United States. Yeah, made in the USA. So that would be appropriate, wouldn't it? Shakespeare by then has moved a lot of its production overseas, but it kind of would be a kick in the tail if it was a centennial reel celebrating the U.S. and it was made abroad, right? Okay, while I take the pieces and parts off, I generally like to clean right as I'm removing them for two reasons. One, you don't want to replace a part that's dirty, and secondly, I like to clean it at the time I take it off, because I like to inspect them, make sure that the parts are good, and well, this reel's working, so there's a good indication that that's not going to be a problem, but one never knows. And if you do the cleaning and you do the inspection right away, you shouldn't have any issues when you go to reinstall. I just took fishing reel oil, I put them in where the two studs are, and you can see that quiets that down right away. When I take my pieces and parts off, they go into a parts tray. That helps me to organize the pieces, and well, when it's time to reinstall later, I know where they are. Okay, I don't think we have to remove this to remove the side case, but we're going to do the same thing with the star adjuster. Clean that up. It's a nice shiny chrome-based adjuster, and this is a good place to tell you to take pictures along the way. If you're working on a reel that you haven't worked on before, pictures are oftentimes the only documentation you are going to have of where the pieces and parts were when you took them off, what their orientations were, and well, if you get stuck on the way back in, you can always refer back to those pictures to help you out in the reassembly. When I take these screws out, I want to make sure they're all the same size. First two were. But if you wind up with a longer or a shorter screw, you want to note that so that, well, you put it back in its right place when it's time to do the reinstallation. In case you didn't notice, this cleaner that I use over here that's on my table is a Penn rod and reel cleaner. I find it's an excellent product for cleaning and polishing your rods and reels. With the screws removed, we can remove the case, and a word of caution, we don't know what's inside this reel, so just be cautious in terms of how you're approaching it, and well, we'll see what goes on here. That's a tight case. Well, looks like we've got more than a little bit came out here. I guess you'd have to take a picture here to start with. Let's see if we can get this spool out of here. Oh, looks like everything is falling apart now. That's kind of normal for the job, I guess. So let's just see if we can't intuit this then. I see a couple of the things that are going on here. And let's take a look at the inside of this. I guess you could call this an oops moment because it wasn't planned. But here's our line guide. That's driving fine. Just throw a little bit of oil on there. We have a back burring here, interesting for this reel. Let's put some oil on that. Have a spool, the blue spool. Let's go ahead and grab that. A little bit of grease onto each side, and then we'll try and logic out what's going on here with this internal, since everything kind of sprang out on me there. Okay, from the put the spool back in, take a look at what we have in pieces and parts here. This is a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle. So we're going to have to just play around a little bit, see what we can do here. The first part, I think, would be our free spool release. It looks like it belongs on these two posts. Like that. I think this lever would go next. And on the lever, it appears that this little ridge here should be the ridge here. So I guess it's a balancing act with that. Let's see if we can put that in there, see if we can get that like that. Then the slotted pinion gear would be an indication that that goes next. Examine all the teeth on this reel. Make sure that they're all in good condition. And let's put some bit of grease onto that. That would go in next. That would be your trip, I'm assuming, there. Let's see if we can't get that locked in. What's holding this down appears to be the spring in the case here. So we should be all right with that, putting the pressure here to hold that assembly in place. Okay, next would be the drive gear collar. All right, then the drive gear with a disc pad underneath here has two slots which look like they correspond with the drive for the worm gear. Again, check your teeth. This feels very dry. I don't know if it's gotten any oil since 1976, the Centennial. All right, let's put that over the studs, mount that with your pinion gear. I'm just checking here now. We got to rotate this in order to mesh that. There we go. That meshes in. Next appears to be the anti-reverse dog assembly. I think that's going this way on this post. Now, it was a quick look when we're taking it off, but I think it belongs there. Now our anti-reverse ratchet, and there's an eccentric spring here. So we want to line that up, bring that into the window like that. I'll take it that this washer holds that down. This, I think, belongs on our pinion gear. That kind of looks like it fits that way. Compression spring for our drag washer tension, and then it'll be a collar, I think, that will go inside the case. That should be the way that this works. Okay, before we close it up, there's one more piece. That's the return spring for your pinion gear. That fits over the shaft like that. Now let's see how we do. Make sure that this is kind of a temperamental little lever there. So let's see if we can't get that corrected. Bring this over and bring this on. There we go. That should do that. Quick little grip. All right, let's put the screws back in. I'm using a micro screwdriver for this. While we're at this, if you have any questions on this reel or any reel, maybe you're working on one and you're stuck, maybe you had something similar to what just happened here, where we kind of got the pieces and parts kind of come out unexpectedly and Had a little bit of an issue trying to logic through how these pieces went. Maybe you've got a reel in a bag project because of it. If you just want to shoot me a note in the comments section, I will try to help you out. See if we can't make that reel work again. Give it a second chance. All right, one more of these. And we'll put that adjuster on. We'll see how we're doing. I'm hopeful. 1976 reel. Wow. So we're actually coming up on the 250th anniversary. It'll be up in 2026. Fascinating. Okay. Adjusters on. Handles on. Little lock washers on. Cap nut. We'll give it a try, see how we did. Okay, it's a beautiful reel, so what did we do? We took this reel completely apart. One of the things I did notice is that it appears that there was a clicker here, right here, that's gone. So at some point in this reel's history, you probably had a click mechanism there that well, broke off and disappeared. But other than that, we should be in pretty good condition. Look at that. Nice back and turning free and easy. Put our free spool back in. We have a casting free spool. Pop it back up. Want to adjust your drag a little bit. And that's it. Wow. Okay, so this was a fun reel. Bobby, thank you for sending this one in. It's the Shakespeare Centennial, 1976. We saw a unique design underneath this. I don't think I've seen another reel that's had that kind of a setup. And well, even with a little bit of an oops moment there, we were able to figure it out and get it back together again. Nice and smooth running. The handles aren't talking to us anymore. This one's ready to go fishing. Well, before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, and everybody dedicated to keeping us out of harm's way. I want to thank you, the viewers, for making the channel what it is. And I want to thank everybody for watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.